There he is. Hi, welcome. Just a quick disclaimer, I have a very needy cat on my lap, so if you hear purring, that's what that's about. So now that we're into October, I finally started decorating for fall. And I think 3 years ago, I had made some window decals in the shape of leaves, but I had just made them by hand and I cut them out of contact paper. And after 3 years of use, they have gotten kind of worn out. They're curling a lot and some of them have ripped. So to replace my old leaf decals, I'm actually going to make new ones and I'm going to switch up the design a bit. Instead of doing generic fall, I'm going to lean a little more Halloween. And instead of making them by hand, I'm going to make them on my Cricut. So yesterday I drew out a little ghost design. This guy here. And I scanned him into my computer and I opened the drawing in Inkscape, which is a vector drawing program if you're not familiar. So I traced it out and made a vector image, and then I opened that image in Cricut Design Space. I did a little test cut just on regular paper and he turned out super cute. So I've actually got a couple of designs. I've got this little guy and then I've got more of a symmetrical one, but I'm actually going to do 3 decals. I'll do one of the symmetrical one and then I'll do one of this guy and then another one of him flipped the other way. So I'm going to walk you through how to make these decals, and I actually have the SVG files for these ghost designs on my website, and I'll link that page in the description below. So in addition to the SVG files and some sort of cutting machine, I have a Cricut Joy, but if you have a standard Cricut or a Silhouette or anything like that, you might have to make some adjustments to the project, but it should be more or less the same. The only other thing you're going to need is a temporary vinyl, and make sure that it says temporary and not permanent, unless you want ghosts permanently on your window. I guess that would be fine if that's what you're into. So I have the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl, removable vinyl, and this is just in a standard white. If you're using a different type of machine, you'll probably have to do this on a mat, but because I have the Smart Vinyl and the Cricut Joy, I'm able to just load this directly into the machine without a mat. Okay, so let's get started on the process. So I'm starting off the project just by opening Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to do New Project and then go to Upload. And you can see I've already been messing around with this and pulled some files in here, but I'm going to go to Upload Image and browse and then find my images. So we'll start with this one. So I will say I'm not an expert with vector files, so I'm not sure if there's a way to get rid of the background, but I wasn't able to. So these files do have a background to it. So it's going to show up looking like the background is black, but just hit continue and then upload. And then on the right hand side here, you've got a panel and you can just click the arrow and then it'll have your image of the ghost and then also a black rectangle. And what you can do is just hit the little eye icon next to the black rectangle and close that, and the background goes away. So then this has a little exclamation point next to it, and if I click on that, it says that the image is too large. So that just means that the image would be larger than my Cricut Joy can cut out wide. So I just need to readjust the size of my image so that it's narrow enough for the Cricut Joy to cut it. So I'm just going to take my little corner thing there and push it in. And the exclamation point is still there, so I'm just going to keep doing this incrementally and shrinking it down until the exclamation point goes away. And again, if you have a larger cutting machine, this won't be as much of an issue for it. You'll have more flexibility as to the size that you can use. It's just because I have the Cricut Joy and it's quite narrow. So I'm pretty limited as to the size that I can make. So there we go. So that's now small enough. The little exclamation point has gone away. And I'm just gonna mess around with this until it's as large as I can possibly make it. There we go. So I'm 11.41 centimeters wide. So that's as wide as that can go. And then I'm just gonna hit make. And yeah, I will save my project. And I'm gonna call him ghostie1 and save. So now this doesn't give me the option to cut it on a mat because materials cut on a mat will be even narrower. So because I'm using the smart vinyl, I can do it a little bit wider. But if I were to cut this out on a mat, I would have to go even narrower. Sorry, I'm losing my voice for some reason. Okay, so from here it's telling me that it's going to be 18 centimeters tall. And then specifies that material load type is without mat. So material size 14 by 18 centimeters. And then I'll just hit continue. It's going to connect to my Cricut Joy. So I'll just get my Cricut Joy set up and the material loaded. And while I'm doing that, I also need to choose material. So this is smart vinyl. And removable. Okay, so I'll just load the material into the machine. Then hit go. That's done, so I'll just hit unload. And that's my first one done. Obviously that's very difficult to see, but it is cut out there. So I'm just going to cut this piece off and then I'll be ready to go to load in for the next cut. Okay, so then I'm just going to repeat the process and I'll hit new. And then I'll do the same thing. So I'm just going to upload image and I will grab ghostie2. And load this one in. Upload. And then we'll do the same thing. So just on the side panel here, click the little arrow and then just click the eye on the black rectangle. And then again, this guy is going to have to be shrunk down as well. So I want it to be about the same height as my previous one. It is a little narrower, so I could technically make it taller, but I want them to be about the same size. So my first one was 13.44 centimeters tall, so I'm going to try to get this approximately the same height. If not exactly. Okay, 13.43, that'll do. So again, same thing, just gonna hit make. So this one is giving me the option to make it on a mat because it is narrower. So I could technically cut this out of narrower material, but I don't need to do that because I'm just using the smart material. So I'll click without mat, confirm. And then again, it's telling me I need 18 centimeters of length. And that all looks good, so I'm just going to hit continue. It's going to connect to the Joy again. And then, there we go. Gauze materials, smart vinyl removable. And then I can load in vinyl again. Okay, so ghostie number 2 is cut out. And for number 3, it's going to be super easy. So I'm just going to hit cancel. Go to, this is actually saying that I have a second page here, but we're just going to ignore that. So for ghostie number 2, I'm just going to hit mirror and it's going to flip him around. And then I can hit continue. And same process as before, just choose smart vinyl removable. All right, so that is ghostie number 3 finished, and we're basically done. The only thing that's left is to peel this off and stick it on the window. So let's go in the living room and we'll do that. So I'm gonna start just by peeling off the background. So just finding a corner here, and peeling that off. And then I'm left with a little ghostie. And once I peel him off the backing, his eyes should stay, hopefully. There he is. So I'll just stick him to the window. So again, because it's removable vinyl, if you don't get it lined up perfectly the first time, you can just kind of peel it off and re-stick it. It's pretty forgiving. So I'm just going to do the other 2 and I'll show you the completed window. So that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed this project. Once again, if you want to make the same decals that I did, the SVG files are linked in the description down below, but you could do this project with any kind of design that you like for any sort of holiday or season. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more crafty videos from me, I will link a couple of those here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.